Hi guys, it's Ali and Theo and we're back with another episode of the Undecided Gen Z.
This is the podcast where we talk about everything going on in our world, your world, and the world around us from a Gen Z perspective, and also talk to interesting, influential, or inspiring Gen Zs doing cool things.
And today we do have another person who is kind of inspiring. Just inspiring with how she's managing everything at the moment.
I'm super interested in today's guest. We have got a lot to get to. We've got a juicy, jam-packed episode. But we're going to be speaking to Nina Fowler. You might not recognise the name.
Well, I didn't know her until I knew of her, but I didn't know her name.
And then I pulled up the video and Ali was like, oh.
Yeah, I'll be like, I know her. Yeah.
So there's this video going around and it's a cut video. So Cut is one of those, those warehouse YouTube video places, and they do all these kind of random videos. And this one is 7 high schoolers choose who gets $1,000. And so Nina is from this video, which has since gone viral early this year for a number of reasons. You might recognize the fish girl who's going viral on TikTok and getting a lot of hate at the moment with the overalls.
No, I shouldn't say that. She's like a teenager, but still, she was a cow.
Oh.
Sorry. Should I not say that?
I know. I'm just like, do we approve of attacking 14-year-olds on this podcast?
Was she 14?
We don't know. We can ask Nina.
But she was mean. That's all I'm saying. She was mean.
She was mean, and she herself admitted that.
Yeah. Okay. True.
But we're going to be talking to Nina.
I'm not gonna lie. Nina.
In just a bit about everything, about what's it like to go viral overnight, basically.
But before that, of course, us and of course, a review of the week.
Yes. So this week, guys, as you know, we like to start off by sharing a review of the week. And if you guys want to be the potential next one, you can head over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a little
review.
Little 5 stars.
A little 5 stars.
But this one comes in from ProTuber is Best, who did give us 5 stars.
Oh, love. And they said, amazing. I've been looking for a podcast that encompasses the adolescent teen from the perspective of actual semi-adults. I love it. And it's so funny. So win-win. Couldn't ask for more.
That's what we're going
for. Could not ask for more.
Thank you, ProTuber is Best.
When they actually are better at writing our description than us, encompasses the adolescent teen. Hey, do you want to write our description?
I mean, Alex sitting there for 2 hours.
We literally sat there being like...
A 2-sentence.
It was just we are very undecided perspective. That was but
we're do we do tackling? Do we do who tackle while tackling while they tackle? And we're we don't know.
We don't know how. And this person's encompasses adolescent. Okay, we see you. Thank you, ProTuber.
Drop your number. Let's time to hit him up.
So
we.
It's been big time for me. And for you too.
Yes, we have a crazy update to something we started talking about last week.
Yes.
Which we'll get to in just a moment. But first, how have you been?
I've just been packed, busy. Now that I have money coming in from work and stuff, I've been seeing friends more. But also because the pandemic is not over, obviously, but we can do stuff and see people. I've been booking in people because I've been feeling good. I've been wanting to see people and do things.
Yep.
So I've been booking in things a lot, which I haven't had a full day where I don't do anything.
Really?
I have a full day where I just am here at home.
Yep.
So between therapist appointments, work, podcasting, seeing friends, I feel like I'm running around like a headless chicken.
Are you enjoying that, or are you
no, it is so overwhelming. I kind of like it, but then I know I'm gonna burn myself out because I'm not looking after myself, sleeping wise, etc. So I'm just Ali, you can't keep doing this.
Chill.
Because I'm lacking, I haven't been focusing on my exercise because I've just been so busy, but exercise makes me feel good. So stuff like that I'm ugh. But no, so much has happened. The other day, I got a call from my mom in the middle of the day and she's like, Ali, I've been mauled by a cow. And I'm and I'm on the phone and I'm what do you mean you've been mauled by a cow? Kind of thing. I was I don't understand. And she's kind of tearing, crying. So I'm it must be serious. And she's the cow just pressed me up against the fence.
Oh my gosh.
Had me between her and the fence. And if the fence hadn't have given way, thank God, it was
it actually gave way.
It broke, completely broke. And if it hadn't have broke, she would have been dead.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I was at the time, I was a bitch. And I was are you fucking kidding? I was because she knows she's been on a farm forever. And I was that you should not be in there with the cow because basically the backstory is it had a calf. The calf got mauled by another cow because it had an afterbirth on it. So basically, like tried to be raped. Sorry, trigger warning, by another cow, and the other cow broke its legs. This calf, right?
Jeepers.
Yeah. So then mum had to go get another calf so it could replace it for the mum because the mum was frantic. So now this mother cow, heifer, I don't know what they're called.
Mrs. Cow.
Now this mother cow went crazy like when her calf wasn't there, but has now got her quote unquote calf back, so she's really overprotective of it. So mum knows not to go into the paddock with the cow. Like that's like number one rule. You don't go, especially when you're alone. You don't go into like the paddock because stuff like that happens. So I was really pissed off, and I was like, you know better. Like, and like maybe I was pissed.
Like lying on the paddock, like
no, she actually was. She's like,
Mum, you know better than that.
No, that's actually what happened though. She was like, I like was injured and like I'm really scared. I nearly died. And I was kind of like, well, look, you were stupid enough. I was literally like that. And not because like I felt that way, but because it's really scary for me being an only child and like not having any siblings or like, and and not, like that's my only mum. Like what? She's doing stupid stuff like that. Like she dies. What am I supposed to do? Like what am I, like that's terrifying for me.
Yeah.
And because obviously she's my mum too, but there's like other elements of that. And I was like pissed off. I was like, that's not okay. You can't be fucking stupid. I'm serious though. Like who goes into a paddock with a huge cow just to like look like you dumb? Anyway, she like had to take work off. She can barely walk, barely drive. So I went up for like the evening and just like kept her company and like, yeah.
Hashtag pray for Michelle.
Oh, also she just like followed us on the podcast account. I'm like, why have you not been following from the start? I was like, that's rude cow.
We got a notification that she'd followed us. Like, I knew you were at home. I was like, Ali's probably like
no, I
her
wasn't.
phone while she's in bed dying. Be like, time to follow all my accounts. like all my pictures.
No, but she must have just done it herself. I was like, if you really cared, you would have done that at the start when we first made the podcast 2 years ago. But yeah, so that's been a bit hectic, but that's really it. Can't say there's been much more.
I feel like your mum getting mauled by a cow and almost dying is enough for 1 week.
Yeah, sure.
I had a good time. I had a bit of a weird moment. And I was like, I won't talk about this. I was like, no, I don't need to talk about it. But then I was like, it's kind of funny. It's like and it's not that serious. And I'm like, people are actually dealing with proper stuff. It's kind of stupid. But I was like, it is kind of funny because of the fact that I do have like awesome mental health. Yeah. Right? So I'm like always happy.
Yeah, I'm very jealous.
Always like just living.
No, you're not always happy, but you're like, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I'm just like, don't have any bad mental health issues. But I was like, finally something bad happened to me.
No, but I'm like me with my list of things.
Yeah. No, this isn't even bad. I'm just keen to like hear what you say. So I have this like random thing, which like every couple of months or something, there's like a very small moment I'll be like in public and like nothing, not even a particular event, but just some random interaction will happen. And like I'll have like a panic attack and like die, like freak out.
I'm smiling, but I don't mean to sigh.
No, it's not like serious. It's because it's so stupid.
It's not stupid though. It's your body reacting to how you feel.
But wait till I tell you what happened this week. So I'm in church, right? On a weeknight. It's like Wednesday night. Yeah. Because they were doing like these church night services. We're just like in the singing. We're in the worship phase. Just like chilling.
It's just random.
Everyone's singing. It's all good. And it's at like a deep point. And the church I go to is very big, so it looks pretty cool. And there's like lights and stuff. Yeah. And I was thinking like, it'd be good to get an Instagram story of this because it looks good, but also I do kind of want to be more like public about the fact that I go to church. Like I post everything else, but I'm like, church is a big part of my life.
Oh no,
I want to post on it.
Did somebody call you out?
No, not even. So I'm like, do I do it? But it's also kind of not the time. It's like everyone's very deep in the moment. It'd be inappropriate if I pull out my phone, but I'm like, but I want to get a story. Yeah. So I'm thinking about it for a while, and then I'm like, no, I'm just stressing about it too much. Let's just take a few snaps. Yeah. So I pull out my phone. I'm just like getting a couple pics. I get a little video. And this girl next to me, like my friend, she turns to me and goes, hey, don't take pics. Don't take pics now. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. I put my phone away and I nothing even happened. That was perfectly
reasonable of her. But that would give me anxiety.
It wasn't even the comment, like, I don't know. But for some reason, I feel like a dagger in my chest. Yeah. And immediately I'm sent into this spiral. I'm like, oh, Theo, you're so like embarrassing and cringe, like trying to take pictures while everyone else is doing this, like, and then I'm like, it's sending me in to think all the bad stuff I've done. I'm like, you're such a bad Christian, like you shouldn't have done that. And then I'm like, look at me trying to do an Instagram story, like you think you're an influencer, nobody cares. And then I'm like, you've spent a week obsessing over the podcast, like nobody cares about that, like you're so embarrassing. And then it's like,
makes me want to cry.
like you're so embarrassing that you like think about the podcast when literally like
Nobody
stop
cares.
trying, like stop, you're such a wannabe. And then I'm like, nobody actually like cares about you, like if you like dropped off, nobody would give a crap.
Oh my god, this is a spiral and a half.
Literally, so it's just like one thing after the other, and then I'm like start crying in the service.
church.
I'm like, tears are welling up and I'm like literally crying, but I can't like leave, and I've got a mask on, so I'm like trying to breathe like heavy, like just take deep breaths. I was just like, I really just want to like run out, like just cry in the bathrooms, because like I know it's one of those things where if I let it out, then it's like chill, because I know it's being like ridiculous in the moment, but I'm literally just like crying and being like, I'm the worst, like I'm so embarrassing, and all like the behaviors, every little moment comes back to me, and I was like, I just can't wait till I'm like, this is over and I can leave and be in the car and alone. And by the time I got to the car, it was like pretty chill, like it had recovered by then, but just in that moment, and I don't know if it's like a slight embarrassment thing, but
maybe it just triggers this like insecurity,
well,
where then you like spiral.
I have this like core memory, right? And I don't know if this is what started it. But I say core memory because this comes into my mind all the time. And it's like the first time I remember one of these moments coming. I was at a scout camp when I was like 11 or 12. And we'd been talking during the day about making like this hot chocolate for everyone. And so we're at night and we're like sitting around the hot chocolate pot, like at a scout camp on the fire or whatever. Like we're stirring it and stuff, and people have put stuff in. And this girl had mentioned earlier today, she's kind of like an outcast, a bit of a girl. She'd said, I've got a packet of Tim Tams, we can use those. And we're like, oh, cool, thanks so much. So she gets up and she's like, I'll get my Tim Tams that we can add. And she comes out with the Tim Tams, and I like make just a comment, like a reactionary comment, because I see they're like mint Tim Tams. And I'm like, oh, they're mint. Or like, oh, they're mint Tim Tams. Just like slightly like, oh, they're mint. Kind of that kind of comment. And okay, this is so dumb, but my friend who was like mixing the hot chocolate at the time, she turns to me and she goes, Theo, you didn't even bring anything, so I don't think you can talk. Like kind of like that. And I'm just like automatically like embarrassment. I feel so bad. And I'm like, I'm an awful person. I remember just being like, I'm terrible. Like this poor girl literally just brought her Tim Tams and I had made a comment, which was like a small comment. But, and I remember like going into my tent and just like crying, being like, I'm just awful. I'm like, I'm so
Maybe
awful.
you should go to therapy.
Maybe they're do have more issues than I think. But, you know, like, I'm so awful. And then that moment always comes up. Like, I'm in a spiral and I'm like, oh, I'm so mean. Like, I think I'm so good. I think I'm like a great person when I'm actually just terrible. So that's just like a thing that happens sometimes. And it's,
interesting.
I don't know what like the thing is that triggers it. Or like,
well, there has to be something that it's like core. Like it's something at the core that like is then triggering these moments that all kind of attach.
Because then I always know that it's not reasonable reaction.
But it's just like it's reasonable because you've had the past like reactions. You know what I mean? Like it all ties together. That's so interesting. But it's kind of fun. It's just random. Don't downplay it. It sounds like stressful because if you never know when it's going to happen or what's triggering it. Well, maybe it's the kind of being called out thing. Yeah, it's something about being called out, but because I can deal with being embarrassed or like I can get away with making a mistake. It might be like getting called out for something which I did to someone else, but also like the photo thing, I wasn't. Maybe getting called out for like doing something like the photo thing's a bit different, isn't it? But it's usually the photo thing was random. But it's usually when I've done something like somewhat not morally right. Is it morals? I don't know. Not morally right, but something like slightly mean. I don't know. Anyway, let's lighten the mood. It's very intense. No, I feel like a lot of my anxiety is I spiral. Like it'll be one thing that's making me anxious, and then if I can't deal with that or I'm alone in that anxiousness, I will then spiral, and it'll get to the point of like there's like I'm like an awful. And then I'm an awful person. Well, that too, but also like there's no point. Like it's so far removed from the original thing by the end. Like it's not even actually about that. Yeah, it just like
triggers it into all this other stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Which maybe then it's actually about the core stuff. It's not about that little first anxiety. Like maybe when I was in high school, it's not about that paper. It's the way that I feel inadequate to finish anything or like not smart enough. You know what I mean? True. Our anxieties show up in these things because of other things. Like my thing is with my therapist, it's like, okay, I have anxiety, but why do I have anxiety? Because like back when I was younger, people like said, oh, she's angry because she's anxious. And then they give me medication to like help with my anxiety, which then would make me less angry. But then it was like, but why? Nobody asked, but why is she anxious? Nobody then dealt with that. So I've been living 17 years, just like dealing with the symptoms and not the actual core
not like
issue.
Dealing with the root.
Why? Which is like why then things manifest like what happened to you and stuff like that. So it's all about getting down to, unfortunately, the core issue. But yeah, it's interesting, especially because like you never speak about anything like this happening, like mental health.
Well, that's because it's like because after that happens, I'm like, it's not. I was like, I don't even want to speak about my podcast because it's not like an actual like thing almost that like translates to any other part of my life. It's just that specific moment, which is weird. But then I'm chill the rest of the time, so it doesn't feel like it's.
But it is because it's you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So we have also like a life like update like story that we've both experienced together because I dragged you into it. But if you listen to last episode, I was about to say last week, but it wasn't last week because you don't double episode here. This guy like offered to do anything, no matter the small, the podcasting stuff. Yeah,
and we're like, what does he want?
Turns out he's submissive and he wants to be a slave for me. Just gonna put that out there. He wants to be a slave for me and do whatever I want. We figured out he wants to give me his bank account details and his savings and his keys to his place.
Yeah, I think you need to pull up some of these messages.
Oh my
God. It was so bizarre. So we were actually, this was after we recorded last week. I was like, I followed this up with you and I was like, wait, let's talk to this dude. Let's see like what he could do for us.
Yeah.
He like progressively gets more bizarre with what he's saying.
Oh, really bizarre. Like very bizarre. I love how you put him in as my slave. Like why did you do that? There's just so many messages. Oh my God, it's so weird. Like he's talking about the last person that he was a slave or submissive for. Last goddess Sabine was from Germany in Melbourne for 16 months and took over my apartment keys, credit card, savings and salary and gave me a small allowance for 16 months. And I treated her sister and boyfriend and their friends like gods. And they treated me like shit. And I just didn't get what happened. Like he did. It's like he wanted me to treat him bad, but then he didn't want me to treat him bad.
It was bizarre.
And I was
we'll post some of these texts in the group chat. Yeah. But basically, like he came out and he was like, we were so confused at the start because he was like, oh, I enjoy like someone as an assertive woman that tells me what to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
I was
what
like,
do you mean?
Yeah.
And then he was like, don't find it weird. I just like want to be a slave. And then even the way he was speaking changed. Like he was using very like high punctuation and grammar.
Well, because apparently he like graduated from Harvard.
He's like, plus, let me be your slave.
And stuff like that.
And he was saying like
it doesn't have to be anything sexual or romantic. Like and I was like, okay, because it's not going to be at this point. And then he like tried to reiterate, being like, but you don't want that. I'm like, no. Like, no thanks.
No.
But I want the money.
And he was like, he's supposed to send a photo and he was like, do you think I'm ugly? Am I ugly too?
Yeah.
And so we're like, oh no, you look nice.
Yeah.
And he was like, see, I don't think this will work. Like, you too nice, you too polite.
Yeah.
And we're like, what? And because you said to him, he was like, I want to be your slave. Yeah. And you said, I'm not comfortable using that word. And he's like, my last goddess, she called me a slave. And we're like, wait, what? So it turns out like he wants Ali to like call him all this horrible stuff, which Ali like can't do.
I'm a nice
I was like, Ali, call him a dirty slave. And she was like, no. So I took over the phone and I was like, we're going to maximize and like get as much as we can out of this.
Because I was like, money. I was kind of like, money, if he's offering like to do like have money for me, like why not? Like, but then it just got too far. Like
It did get a bit
It
far.
got to the point where he looked like was really sad. Like it just the stuff he was telling us, I was like, I don't want to. He was like telling me that the last person made him sleep on the ground and not use the furniture, and then go sleep in hostels or on the streets while her and her boyfriend were there were parties. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. I literally told him like, sleep on your own bed, sleep in your own furniture.
Obviously, at the start, there was a bit of thing in our heads being like, is this like chill for us? Is this
Yeah.
but we're like, no. Because he's like, I want to treat you like a goddess, and
he's
you
like, I wanna go
and
to
you and your friends.
yeah.
I want to give you like all my money to look after. You can give me a salary. So we're like, okay, let's just see if we can get something out of this.
Yeah.
And then, but then he was like, he says, you can have my apartment. You can like tell me if you guys want to have a party. You can tell me to go sleep in a homeless shelter.
I was like, no.
No, but he's like, but this is what I really want. Like, I really want this.
Yeah, it's just
like,
so
I
weird.
want, the more like aggressive we are, the more like we.
But then when
make
you
him
went
suffer.
and I kept speaking to him, he was like, oh, "This is like you're nicer. Like, don't try and force it." And then he's like, "I don't care if you are." He's like, "I just want you to be like real." And then I was like, "Okay, I'll just be myself then."
He was also just
And,
kind of hard to deal with, but he said like,
he was just so annoying. I was like, "This is another element of work."
I don't know, it's like, this is like a full-time job managing you. It's like, just do out what we want.
I was like, and he just kept asking questions. I was like, "No, just give me the money. Do whatever you want in your house. Live your life. Just give me money."
Literally. But when I left, I was like, okay, I'll like let Ali kind of see what she wants to do with it, and then on the way back I was like, okay, I'm glad I didn't take it any further because I was thinking about it. I was like, I think even if he says like he really wants
it's
it,
messed up. Yeah,
that's messed up to like.
Well, I wasn't
encourage
actually
that.
gonna go for
No,
it.
we're not gonna go to have his apartment, tell him
No.
to massage our feet, and it's like,
No, he wanted to massage my feet. The last message, oh my god, because I just didn't respond to him. Yeah, so I tell him like, don't go to the homeless shelter. I was like, no, I definitely won't tell you to like. Oh no, he's like, when they had sex, I was locked in the bathroom or locked in the balcony and told to leave in the apartment or sleep on the street or kiss their feet or shoes on their order. Please don't be offended. Given you're nice and polite, you won't like to do the same, correct? And I was like, no, I definitely won't. And he's like,
I'm glad you.
What do you really prefer then? Should I request to go back to the original thing of assisting with podcasts only? Only if you're still interested. I'm sorry to approach you with this request. Apology. And I was like, I prefer to get what I want, but still be nice. Is that possible? And then he goes, yes. Could you tell me how you exactly prefer things in terms of what you want from me and how you see our interactions on a regular basis, please? I didn't respond.
Wait, okay.
And then
maybe
he goes,
it's not over.
And then he goes, no, this is why I didn't respond after this. He goes, can I just worship and massage your feet and help with your podcast? And I didn't respond.
Wait, I just imagine us witnessing
like,
him
no.
recording. He's just like got one hand at each foot of ours, but it's like, thank you while we're recording.
Legit. And then he goes, guess not. Please don't reject me.
What?
It's so odd. Anyway, I'll keep you updated.
He said his arrangement was that he wanted to like take you shopping and discuss it more.
Yeah.
So maybe you take up the shopping. He said you could bring a friend. Maybe we go just
to scope it out.
Scope it out.
True.
But also, we do want to be ethical.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think we should do. I'll share the text.
Yes. What should we do, guys?
But we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be joined by Nina from Cut.
I'm so excited.
We'll see you after.
Bye.
Okay, guys, we are back and we are joined by the legendary viral star, Nina Fowler. Nina, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
So good.
Oh,
So happy to be speaking to you. Well, we just didn't sync there. No, but I'm so happy to be speaking to you today. And so happy to have you on. It's just like, oh, it's exciting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
I'm feeling
thank
very
you.
special right now.
what is
As you
life
should
right
be.
now for you as like a young person in America?
Oh,
Based on everything
goodness.
that's going on, is it as wild as like we're seeing on the news and everything?
Honestly, yeah, I would say it kind of is. I mean, for myself, I am a college student right now, but I am living at home just because of everything going on. So I don't think I've really been in the thick of it as much as other people have. But even still, being like away from like the bigger city and not like right on campus, it's still like a lot going on. There's still, tons of things
So
happening everywhere.
Can you choose to like, if you're at college, can you choose to not go like to campus? Can you be like, I'm staying home?
Yeah, if
Keep it
you
safe.
want to. There's like a couple, like a lot of the international students, they're not over on campus right now just because it'd be kind of hard for them to be over here, a place to live, if they don't have like a way to get income, that kind of stuff. And then if you live like in the area, you're totally fine to stay home because most of our classes are online right now, at least for UW Seattle, that's where I go. Only like some of like the medical lab classes are what's in person. Everything else is online right now. So I'm just chilling out in my own little space. I'm a communication major actually. So it's my first year of college, but I took some college courses in high school. So I'm technically like I don't know if you guys do like freshman, juniors, all that stuff.
Well,
And
you're more qualified than us. I didn't finish high school. I'm just chilling. And Theo
oh my gosh, there you
isn't
go.
at college or uni. So
You guys are doing
definitely-
great. You guys are hanging out.
Yeah, we're just chilling.
So
No.
we're going to get into the whole cut video situation, the whole virality of it all. But just for starters, one question we like to start by asking guests to get a bit of insight into your kind of life is, what is a typical day in your life look like?
Oh, goodness. Okay. Typical day in the life. I get up. I'm not a morning person, so
start.
it takes me a while. I typically have classes in the
hour.
morning. So yeah, right. Laying in bed on my phone. So yeah, I'll get up, I'll go to class, have a little lunch, probably do some homework. And then in the evenings, I'm kind of like a homebody a little bit. So I like, at least right now, you know, I think most of us are, but I like to maybe like play a game with my boyfriend. We'll watch a movie. I'll FaceTime my friends, just kind of try to like hang out with somebody as much as I can, you know, to get a little bit of interaction. Yeah, I've recently become like a little bit of like a gamer during the pandemic and everything to stay at home. So I play Stardew Valley on my laptop. That's pretty fun. Or I'll play like some like, you know, just like other shooters and fun stuff with my friends online. So that's kind of what I'll do in the evening to try to like have some fun, not focus on school too much.
And has that changed like since your big blow up with like social media and like
yeah,
quote unquote fame? I just own it, fame, like with your fame.
It has definitely a little bit. I think I've spent a little bit less time doing things that I enjoy. There's definitely more time for me spent on my phone. You know, like when it tracks like your like usage, it's gone up like for me like 30%. And I'm just like, oh no. I'm like on my phone
It's
like
like this
through
week
all these TikToks.
you've gone up 44%, and you're like,
yeah, and it's like, oh great, I'm so glad. But yeah, so I've definitely been spending more time like on my phone, I think, looking at videos that people send me or like trying to reply to comments or DMs. The amount of DMs that I have is
scheduling 3 hours a day to respond to DMs.
Right. It really is. I try to, and the thing is too, I try to like reply to as many people as I can. You know, some people I'm just like, okay, delete. They're just like, hey, what's your snap? And I'm just like,
yeah, it's like why are you here?
Give me a better question. I had one girl send me a photo of like a chart of like different like pasta shapes, and she was like, which one's your favorite? And that was her intro, and I was like, perfect. I love this. Yeah, it was really good. I was like, good way to catch my attention.
It's different,
right? Steal that to you.
It was so good. I was like, oh, this is actually like fun. Like, I like this one actually. Thank you for asking.
And it's something you probably don't actually think about that much, so it's good to reflect on.
But we all have our preference.
We all do.
Like we do. We're not gonna lie.
So what was your favorite pasta shape?
Oh my gosh. I picked like 2 of them. I don't know what it's called. They had the names too. It was really good. It's like the swirly one. I like that one.
I was going to pretend that I knew. I don't.
Right, it's this one. You're just like a pasta expert.
Yeah.
So let's get to the situation. When people, well, I guess, okay, I was kind of thinking from the perspective of, just say you're going to like a family event and you're like, random aunties like, no, your mum's like, Nina's famous now, and your auntie's like, oh, what happened? Like, how do you describe the situation, or why?
You're in a pandemic there.
Oh goodness.
So in a potential future family reunion.
In a future situation. I think I typically just explain it. Well, a lot of my friends and family knew that I was in the video when it first came out, like over a year ago. So I'll probably be like, oh, remember that video that I was in where like I tried to get $1,000 and I lost, you know?
And I didn't get the $1,000.
Right. I probably just be like, you know, that video, like, oh, it's like gone viral on TikTok. Do you know what TikTok is, Grandma?
Let me explain that to her. Actually, no, speaking about that, it came out a year ago, and like only like now in the past like month or so, it's blown up. My question is like, when it was first posted, like, did you like have any reaction? Did you like have any expectations? Yeah, how did that change throughout time when you're like, oh, nothing really happened, or like, were you expecting anything to happen? Not that you were like, I'm gonna be famous, like.
Kind of. I think that for me, it was more just like fun to like show my friends and be like, hey, look at this video that I'm in. Like, it's super cool. And like seeing comments, like the comments for the video were turned off basically like right away. I don't even think they posted it with comments available. And so like everybody was like commenting on the video they posted like the day before, like about our video. It was really funny to read through those. But no, nothing really happened right away. And it's actually funny because maybe like 3 to 6 months ago, a girl made a TikTok about the video, and it kind of went like mini viral. Like I got like a couple hundred followers from that. Her video got like a couple million views, but that was like the only time that it really like went like viral until like now. So it's kind of weird that it had like almost like a second resurgence, you know? It was like really, really like, weird.
Let me give you a taste. Okay. Yeah. And then we'll give you another. Like,
I think it's kind of nice though. It like prepared you for the blow up.
Yeah, right. I know, like the first time I got like maybe like 200 Instagram followers from that. I got like a couple hundred TikTok followers. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, how fun.
Look at me go. And then he now.
Yeah, right.
Like, hey, this is what it's like.
This is, I'm like, oh, I'm a little overwhelmed now. Awesome.
didn't think it'd be like this, but we're going to roll with it.
Yeah, for real.
How did you get into the experience? Did you like apply or?
Yeah, I did. So in one of the videos, I don't even remember. I used to watch their videos like all the time. And in one of them, somebody mentioned the University of Washington. And I was like, hold on a minute, wait. So I went to their website and I found out that they were based in Seattle. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. I want to be in one of these videos so bad. And they had like a casting list that you could sign up for. So I just threw my email in there. And most of the casting calls were 21 plus because they involved drinking. And so for a long time I was like, well, not my time. But finally they had that one and I was like, oh cool, I'll just like apply, whatever. And then there was a couple rounds of interviews where they were like asking us questions like, what do you want the money for? Do you have a want or a need that you they really don't care. They were just kind of asking us to know, I think. They were like, are you gonna lie? What would make you give it to somebody else? All these different things. And then finally like, yes, yeah, we want you to come on. Yeah, right. It was funny. Even when we were at the studio, the director for it was like, so do you guys have any like tactics you're going to use to get the monies? And are you going to lie maybe? All this stuff. And I was like, I'm not going to lie. I don't know about anybody else, but.
No, the producers are always kind of like, you hear them in the background kind of trying to start stuff. Everyone's like, yeah, we're friends.
For real,
and like, so how do you really feel about that? Like,
how do you actually
trying to start drama? So what was the vibe like when you rock up and you meet the others? Are you all kind of like hanging out before, like eyeing each other off, like this and that?
Like, what's going on?
I guess kind of. It was interesting. We all kind of showed up around the same time, and they have kind of like a general waiting area that's like right outside of their studio. And it was kind of interesting meeting different people for the first time. Just like we all like knew what we were there for, you know. So it's kind of weird because we all know that we're going to be like kind of like competing for like this money.
Alliances.
Yeah, but it was nice because I feel like we were all pretty like open, like from
we're gonna be together. We're gonna be there.
Honestly, I think that was like a subconscious type of thing. The girl with the ponytail, Jovina, her and I like immediately became friends like when we were there, and so I think that like right off the bat we were just like nicer to each other because we I don't know, it's just like one of those things, you know, you just kind of have a connection with somebody.
Were first impressions exactly what you thought, what they ended up to be like?
I mean, my first impressions were pretty neutral for everybody. I didn't have any like negative first impressions. Everybody was either just like generally nice or just like quiet. You know what I mean? Like nobody was like outstandingly like. Yeah. Heather showed up late. That is one thing that we were all kind of like worried that we weren't gonna have like the shoot at all because there's only 6 of us, right? And they need the 7 of us, and so we were all like last minute she came in. We were like, okay, good.
We're like, we need this money. Somebody has to get money.
Right. But yeah, so first impressions are pretty just like neutral. Some people had their like parent or like a sibling or like a boyfriend or girlfriend come in with them. I just came in by myself because, you know, whatever, but
just mature like that.
Yeah, right. Just walking in, hey guys, I'm this here. What's up? But yeah, I think also seeing people who they brought with them kind of also gave away a little bit of like what they were like. Like Jovina brought her boyfriend and I was like, okay, cool. Like similar. I feel that. And then like Jordyn brought her mom with her, and her mom was super talkative, super like wanting to chat with all of us, really like, oh my gosh, are you excited? This is great, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I was like, okay, so they're kind of like parent and mom, you know, like mom and daughter kind of thing.
They're definitely parents when you like see them with their kids and stuff like that. You can read so much off them. Like it's so easy to be like, okay, I know that dynamic just by like hearing them talk to each other. By like you're like, oh, all right, that's what that's gonna be like. That's what that's gonna be like. Like not even negatively, just.
No, like, that's something too that I think that people like seeing the video don't even think about. Like I got to see, you know, like Jordyn's mom, you know, like Jovina's boyfriend, like EJ's family, a bunch of them came and stuff. And so I got to like get a feel for kind of like how and why they acted the way they did, which I think definitely gives another layer for the video that nobody else really gets to see. Because like, you know, EJ's family was super nice and I got to chat with them, even though he was super quiet. They were all like also like super loud and really fun. So yeah, it was really cool.
Stuff you don't think about watching it, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And have you kept in contact with anybody?
Yeah, so actually right after the video came out, I kept in contact with NJ and Jovina the most, just because we kind of just like hung out while we were there on set. But since everything's like gone viral, we've all talked since then, basically. We almost
Yep.
Yeah, we almost had like a group hangout. It didn't end up like happening, but I talked to like everybody and it's been really good. Nobody has any like negative feelings. I know it's like a big thing going around is like there's negative feelings between all these people and there's all these like this inner turmoil and all these things.
But I think
like,
that's
we're all
what
friends.
makes it viral. You know what I mean? Like it
Oh,
wouldn't be viral
definitely,
Well,
if
yes,
you
the-
didn't expect it.
The Nina Jordyn relationship, Jordyn, for anyone listening, being Ocean Facts girl, Fish girl, Overalls girl. Was there as much tension filming the video as there was in the edited cut?
I honestly don't think so. Although I have to say I don't have the best memory, so that might be part of it.
I mean, it was a while ago.
Like I walked away and I was like, what just happened, right? But no, I don't think there was, honestly. I also too, while we were filming, and I've said this before, like in a live or something, that I really was focusing on the filming more than anything, even more than like myself or anybody else. I was just kind of paying attention to like, okay, they're filming us. I need to pay attention to what's going on in the situation. I don't want to
like, I need to be tactical. I need to think about the It wasn't about anybody else.
No. So like some of those like points in the video where I'm just like, what did you say? Like to her, like I didn't, and I genuinely, that was me like actually like not catching it because they were like sitting a distance away and they had to like talk loud and I was like actually like what?
So
so
they made it sound like you like, what did she say? Huh?
Yeah.
It's like, actually,
Most of the people on the couch, I wanted to be there. What did you say?
That one, genuinely, the way that I went, I know some people thought that was me like throwing her shade. Me just totally unfocused, actually, and just being like, oh, that's so nice. Not even thinking about everything that just happened.
Yeah.
That was just me being like, oh, she's so nice. And then in the video, I'm like, oh, what a way to react to that, right?
It's just so funny how like just editing a certain way can make a whole different experience. Can be like, wait, is that what happened? Like, was there that tension there that I wasn't aware of?
Right. Like even too, like, and Jordyn's talked about it before, so I feel comfortable saying it, that like there's a part where she's crying on the couch and you can like see her wiping her tears away. And everybody thinks that that was because she got voted out. And so she was sad about that. And while that was like kind of part of it, she'd actually said something like super personal, like right before she had gotten out, that we all heard that she asked them to cut out later, you know, then they offer that to us. They said, if there's anything that you say that you want us to cut out, you know, we can do that. And so she said something really personal and then she was like, shoot, I kind of don't want that in there. And so she asked them to take it out, but they left in like her crying from it. And so that kind of also made it look, I know.
There was like, why is Fish Girl crying?
Yeah, he was me sitting watching the video and I was like, why is she crying? I was like,
yeah, right? Everybody too.
I was like, I'm dramatic, but this is another level. And like, she's actually like not anything. Oh my God.
Yeah. I know. And that's the thing is too, is like, it's kind of like, you know, like, back and forth between like, well, they obviously want the views, the entertainment part of it, but then also like I feel bad for her because there was like other stuff going on, but you know, this whole at this point it's like
being like made for her that like wasn't even really like completely her.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not gonna deny it, like she was 14, she was kind of annoying, and she said that too, but like, you know, we all were. I was annoying at 14, and unfortunately for her, it was just like in front of like millions of people.
Exactly.
I would hate for people to see me at 14, honestly. I was like, oh, like,
oh my gosh,
like emo, like I had my Nirvana top, like I was all like,
right,
but like 5 seconds of summer, like what?
Oh my gosh.
Like, no. So if I was on like a huge video that went viral, people would have hated me. So like it's so like a perspective thing.
Yeah, for sure. And also too, it's also just because like, I don't know, her and I ended up just talking more in general. So I think that's also kind of why, you know, like some of the people especially were like really, really quiet. And that's why there's like almost like no focus on that. Cause it's just like, oh, like we just ended up talking a lot. And I think that's part of it too.
So they were like, so we're going to focus on these two, create this drama. It will blow it up.
So a lot of people have obviously been kind of splitting you up as like rival enemies, but then people have also started doing the opposite thing and kind of shipping you guys.
Yes, I was
so funny. The edits shipping you together.
They are funny.
What is the reality?
I didn't believe it until Theo showed me. I was like, no. And he's like, yeah, look. And then he shows me the edit and I'm like, I was like, interesting take. The music.
So is the beef real? Is the romance real? Is Jordyn your secret gamer boyfriend?
Unfortunately, no, the rumors are not true. Jordyn and I are friends, but there's no like beef and there's no romance, unfortunately for some. Sorry to break it. Hashtag Gina. It's funny because people have like sent them to me being like, these are so weird or whatever. And like I saw one on TikTok and I commented on it and I was like, honestly, they put in the effort and this is a good edit. So like I appreciate it.
I just like partner, like I would just imagine them sitting there being like, yes, and getting the video up and like editing it and being like, this bit, this, like I just couldn't imagine it. Like I couldn't imagine sitting there and like being like, yeah, I'm gonna post that. That is good content. I don't even know if they're serious. Like surely not, but
sure, still. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
It's just like a little TikTok like viral sounds. It's just like, I guess I'm just a play date to you.
Yeah. My favorite one is people I don't know, people have been using one that's like Nina, I don't know, but like showing like Jordyn like saying my name and they're just, I know they're funny to me. I think they are funny. Like
I love
I don't know.
Cuts from her like seeing you sitting with somebody else and then her like crying. I was like, oh
like our relationship. Those are super funny. And it's like a part of me is like, okay, that's a little bit weird. But on the other hand, I way prefer that over like her or myself or anybody getting any hate. So that's why I'm just like, you know what? I like it. Give me the edits. Like I got like fan accounts now and I'm like kind of weird, but honestly, sure.
Was there like a bit of beef or like tension after like the filming?
Immediately after it stops filming, what's like the vibe? What do you do?
Your friends now, we'll put that out there. But after we like, like
a little bit. I think that there was a little bit more than anything. I think I was just kind of avoiding her, if that makes sense. Like not even specifically trying to be like whatever, but like I was also at the time like a really big fan of Cut, and so I wanted to talk to everybody on the production team really bad. So I went and bothered all of them and chatted with some of them, and so that was what I was kind of focused on.
You were like, there's actually go away. I'm not ready to handle that.
I'm like building my network.
I need a network.
Like I'm
there's communications.
I'm not even gonna lie, a couple of them followed me back on Instagram, but nobody else. So I felt pretty cool. Exactly. I've literally talked to some of them since then. We've DM'd. So like,
it's like it paid off. It's super interesting. I'd love to know the inner workings, like how they come up with stuff. Like I feel like it's such like a just like it's that account of the Cut, and then what's the other account that's like that where they have
Jubilee.
Jubilee. I'm like, how, like it's such a good thing because like YouTube's kind of dying out, right? Kind of, sort of.
A little bit, yeah.
But those are still strong. They're strong because they're not like their own chat. Like they're not
so addictive
people.
Yeah.
You say only a couple of the production team followed you back, which kind of goes to kind of show you were almost the star of the videos slash the main character slash kind of the fan favorite. How does it feel to kind of be that person? And were you expecting? Were you sitting there like, okay, I'm clearly
you were like,
I'm clearly the main character.
Ready.
I'm the protagonist. Jordyn's my antagonist. Like, let's go.
Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna lie. Like it does feel nice to be getting a lot of positive attention. The amount of like DMs that I've gotten from like all ranges of people just being like, you were so nice, like you're so pretty, you're so like all these nice things. It does feel really nice and it is reassuring because I am a little bit of an insecure person. So that's kind of like, you know, nice to hear that. Although I wish on the flip side that there wasn't like so much hate towards Jordyn in general.
And it's so detrimental for like a young person as well, especially like 14, 15, like that hits home. Like I hope she's doing well and okay with all that.
It's been a little bit interesting. Like she was definitely doing good like when it went viral and when it first happened, you know. She's a really confident and like strong person herself. That's what I've like learned from like watching her lives and like talking to her, is that she's very like self-assured and she can look back on that and say that she was like being petty and kind of like not really reacting the way that she wanted to. And so like in general, she's been doing a really good job. I know recently she's gotten, this is so sad, she's gotten like some death threats and stuff before. And like she was like 14 in the video. Like it's just like a stupid YouTube video, you know? So those I know of like anybody would have a hard time dealing with that. I told my friends that like if I was getting the amount of hate that she was, especially like at the beginning, you know, a lot of people now have like swapped over and been like, let's be nice to her. And I think that's like such a good thing, you know, but if I was getting that amount of hate, I would not be handling it well at all. Like definitely not as well as she is.
Definitely. And like it's so good for her to be self-aware, to be like, oh, the way I treated other people wasn't great, and then be able to step back. And I think that's what people should be focusing on. You know what I mean? Like, like,
for sure.
Wow, she's 14 or 15 and
she even said it in the video. So
she can actually do this. Because like back when I was 14, I was so self-obsessed. Like, I still am. But like I was like, like I could not have stepped back and be like, hey, the way I did that, like maybe in a couple of months or like years, but
not right even like right in the moment. Yeah,
it's crazy.
That mindset of like, oh, she wants to talk about ocean facts. That's so annoying. I want to send her death threats. It's so bizarre.
It's like what? I know, especially because like none of us were really even that bothered. It's like we were the ones who had like the right to be bothered, and none of us.
Yeah,
were,
exactly.
You know,
my thing is like, why do people have time? Like even with hate in general, I'm like, why do you sit there? Like, couldn't you be doing something like better? Like I'm like, you sit there and you're like, let me type out this like grammar like correct like grammar with like a whole paragraph and like put effort and time into this huge thing, like just hating on somebody for like what an ocean fact or like this one little video. I'm like, oh, okay, shows what type of person you are.
Like there's definitely a big difference between like joking around about like the whole situation in general and like the video versus like directly attacking her. I'm just like, what? Especially like there's been people too I've seen who will like send me nice DMs and then go to her and like send really mean ones. And I'm just like, guys, I don't like that. Hello.
And then it doesn't feel genuine because you're like, well, if you were a nice person, you actually meant these things, you wouldn't be like going and then sending
turning
else,
around.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, doing that.
So I want to talk about like kind of the moment of virality / what it's like to suddenly have that level of just like you are the current meme, you are the current like pop culture. So like, what was the moment? Was there a specific moment where you're like, okay, this is like going viral, this is going crazy?
Yeah, I saw I don't know if I got tagged in or if I just happened to see like a video that was like reaching up to like I think it was just getting 1 million views that was about our video. And then like right after that, somebody sent me like another one about our video that was like also getting a ton of views. And I was like, oh, this is kind of weird that there's like multiple going on right now. And then I started to like get a couple of Instagram followers, and then I started to get a couple more Instagram followers, and then I was like getting like a lot more. And then NJ, who was in the video, he was the kid dressed up really nice. He started making TikToks about it and stuff and getting a ton of followers, and I was like, maybe I should do that too.
You're like, so me,
right? But I'm definitely not like a big social media person. Like I barely like I had TikTok for like a long time now, but I never made any. I don't post on Instagram all that often. I just don't think
person
about it,
who's like scrolling through watching everything else happen. That's
kind
me.
of.
I'm like, I'm not ready to take on the world, but I will observe from afar.
Exactly. So yeah, it was kind of odd because when it went viral like small the first time a couple months ago, people were like, oh my gosh, put your Instagram and your TikTok bio so we can like all find you. And so this time it was like straight pathway. Like everybody was like, here she is, now you have 30,000 followers and
this is her at, go.
Right. The amount of times I've been tagged being like, this is her at, like on TikTok or like seeing stuff like that. It is kind of crazy. It is really interesting. I think my favorite part, like the part I like to laugh about the most, is the amount of people who have like a ton of like literally they already have like hundreds of thousands of followers, if not millions, like reaching out, just being like, hey, what's up? And I'm just like, don't try to get this clout right now.
Yeah.
Stop it. You already have millions of followers.
Yeah,
it makes me laugh.
Why me? Like I get it.
Right?
Why? Like just like
exactly.
in your lane.
Like trying to have like a genuine conversation with me and they have like 2 million followers on Instagram and I'm just like, what do you
like? I
know what you're doing.
I know I'm the moment. I know what everyone wants right now. But
I know I'm a wanted person. Step back.
Yeah, it's been really funny. And I posted a TikTok about it, like just for fun, because I was like, it's all going on. And now it has like almost like 500,000 views. And I'm just like, this is really weird. Like I'm just not used to it. I have like notifications off for a lot of stuff anyways, because I just try not to be on my phone a ton. So I go on and I'm just like, oh, this is happening right now.
There goes another 3,000 followers. Cool.
Right. And it's just like, oh, okay, cool.
No, like when you first were blowing up, were your notifications just going crazy? Like I wonder what it's like. Like does Instagram suddenly like change your notification settings so you don't like, because obviously it would overwhelm and you'd be like, it'd break down the whole app, I feel.
Yeah, it was definitely like, thankfully I already had like my likes off. That one would have been like the worst one. Because so I had that off, and I turned off comment notifications because for those two, I would literally wake up in the morning and it's like 160 notifications from Instagram, and I was just like, I can't do this.
That's so I'd be like, okay, bye.
Bye. Yeah. The worst part too is that I try to get back to people too if I can. Like obviously now at the point, like I have my most recent photo on Instagram was like thousands of comments, so I can't do that, but like I try to at least like them, and stuff like that.
It's just hard. these people are putting in the effort, but it's like there's so much. And like when you want to do stuff with your own life and things like that, I can imagine like you'd get like to the point where like I'm sacrificing time I want to spend doing the things I love and being with people that I love to like respond to these other people. And although that's really nice to do, it's kind of like, where do you draw the line? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm definitely like, now I've transitioned to kind of like replying to like a handful a day, like the ones that like people seem like they really are like nice versus the ones where they're just like, hi, or like Nina, like over. And I get the amount of DMs that I get where it's just people spamming my name. Yeah, for real. And it's so funny. And at first I was like, this is funny, haha. But now I'm just like, okay, delete. Yeah, like
yes,
I'll
that
just
is my
ignore
name.
those.
Okay, it's kind of good that this didn't blow up while you're in high school, because I can definitely sense like you just be sitting in class and everyone's just like, Nina.
Oh my gosh.
Nina.
Yeah.
Nina.
Even when the video came out and it was just my friends, like that was happening at school
really?
and stuff. Yeah, because it was like
Okay.
my friends doing it, you know, stuff like that. And like it even got to the point where some of the teachers like had seen it then and they were like, Nina. And I was like, oh guys, come on.
And now every time you hear your name, you're like, no. You're just getting like, you've got
Nina,
like trauma from it. You're like, no.
Yeah, like trying to sleep
right?
at night is just like, Nina.
It was really funny because my boyfriend, we were talking about how like this past like 2020, he was like, you probably didn't hear your name that much because you were just like talking to like me and your like parents and stuff, and you know they have like nicknames for me, but like this year already I've heard my name more than I have like in my whole life.
Ever.
Really
Yeah, probably ever in your whole life.
Yeah.
Like, well, never need to know my name again.
Here it is, right?
You'll be like, not that you'll ever, oh my God, I was about to say you'll have dementia or something, but you won't.
I was predicting my future.
I mean, it happens to the best of us.
You'll just be like, your name will be, you won't ever forget your name because this will just be printed.
Oh my gosh, right?
Yeah.
I can't change it either, too, because that's like my branding now.
Yeah. Just comes out with merch with just like 3 Ninas. Nina.
Somebody's actually said they should be like, you should do merch. And I'm like, is it just going to be my name? Like, I don't know, like a little fish in the corner, right?
Octopus.
You could make it like interactive and have like make it like one of those teddy bears which you press and it makes a sound.
Oh my God.
The audio.
Little like accessory, like a little money bundle.
Yeah, the money bundle, the little octopus, and like your specific drawing, whichever
my
one.
drawing.
Oh,
and
yes.
then just Nina.
Right on there. That'd be so funny. People have asked me which octopus was yours, and mine, for the record, mine was Ollie the octopus. I named mine. I thought that would give me an edge, give him some personality.
You didn't get voted out, so there you go.
I know, thankfully. Kind of roasted it a little bit though. I don't know if they put it in the video or if I just remember her saying it on set, but I had like drawn him doing like a little scene, and then I labeled what he was doing just in case they didn't understand, and she was like, why is it labeled? I understand what he's doing. And I was like,
you want to try to be nice, and they're like, she's like, why? Like,
I didn't need this. Yeah. And I was like, dang it, you're right.
You just like questioning all of your choices of your whole life. Damn it, Ollie, like, why?
For real. I was like, why did I do this?
So you mentioned NJ making a bunch of videos about it. I noticed you've only made one TikTok and only like one Instagram post since. Was that an active decision to not kind of
do it a little stalk?
Like 3 tweets since like this.
I see you did this. You've commented twice on other people's photos.
Right. You like this this time.
Is that like an active decision not to capitalize on it? Were you, because I think lots of people would be like, you know, I'm huge right now. This is my chance to like become an influencer, like really like put out 10 videos a day about this situation.
Could you imagine though? Like people, I think you'd start to get a little bit of hate if you just completely like every day, Nina, like just talk about it.
Yeah. I think that I kind of like when it first happened, I was like, cool, let me like post an Instagram, because I kind of was like, let me just do like one thing, post a TikTok. But I think for me now, I kind of honestly am like glad it's dying down, if that makes sense, because it was just a lot like all at one time, and I think that a lot of it was kind of soured for me because of how other people had to deal with it. And so I also decided that I didn't want to make any more content specifically about the video in order to kind of help mitigate like the hate that some people were getting. Like I had a couple people who with TikToks, like bigger TikToks, reach out to me and be like, oh, I want to do like a skit. Will you say these lines about the video and stuff? And it was really tempting because I was like, oh, these are supposed to be like funny and just like fun stuff and lighthearted.
But it's like at the expense of somebody else. It's like what?
Possibly, like, yeah. And like even if they themselves, like the people who reached out, didn't have any like ill intentions, you know, I just knew that would just be like another avenue for people to hate, and especially if I was in it, they could be like, oh my gosh, she totally hates her, like she's so annoyed by her, like all that kind of stuff. And so I just didn't want that to keep happening. And so I was like, okay, no more content about this. I just made my one video, like my one little like Instagram caption for fun. But at this point now, I think I'll just kind of go to posting whatever I want to. That's another thing too, though, is that I've never like really thought about being like an influencer or like anything like that. So I was kind of like, man, what do I post on TikTok? Like, I don't know how to use this app. Like, I don't even know how to make a TikTok. I had to like look up how to do it.
I don't. Last night I like had a sound and then I tried to put photos and the photos didn't fit and I just gave up. I was like,
right? It's like, I don't know how people do this. People make like 3 TikToks a day and I'm just like, I had trouble making one.
I was like, I kind of don't know how to do the filters. I was like, I give up. This is too much. I was like, too overwhelming.
For real. And I also know too that like eventually, like, you know, as trends go and things as viral, you go out of trend and things aren't like on topic anymore. So eventually I know I'm going to start losing a bunch of followers, which honestly, I don't really care. Thankfully, I've never been somebody to really care about that. But I know like I'll probably start posting like some like funny or like art content or whatever on TikTok and people will be like, who is this girl? What is this?
What did she do? No.
Yeah.
So you weren't ready to like drop your communications degree to become
you're like
full-time
right
Nina.
Off the bat. It was funny though. I have had people
10K followers by college. It's not for me,
right? Sponsored posts, give me. But yeah, it was funny because I had one girl DM'd me and she was like, I'm a business major. I just graduated. If you want to like make money off of this, you need to like engage with your followers, do sponsored posts, content, all this stuff. And I was like, I really appreciate like that advice, you know, but I am a tired teenager. Like, I'm 19, I'm tired. I got school going on. Like, I am good with just hanging out right now.
No, that whole view was actually so mature.
Yeah.
Like for you to kind of say that and like put it aside because you're like, no, I don't want other people to get hate, and I don't need like to try and become a huge influencer out of this viral moment. I'm just gonna like take the moment and enjoy it and then move on with my life as normal.
And so refreshing too. Like I feel like so many teenagers and like people of our Undecided Gen Z generation are all about like, you know, getting that fame, getting that notoriety,
gathering
like keeping
clout,
it going. Like, influencer, and like anybody else would have profited. Like I'm not even kidding. Like I would have done it. Like,
well, I'm not gonna lie. Like I definitely, part of me is kind of like, oh my gosh, that would be like a fun thing to go after. But I also know that it would be a lot of work, you know, to maintain the kind of like attention.
It's not gonna work to fake it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though. If any brands are listening and want to send me any clothing and anything fun, I will take it.
I will promote.
Yeah, I will sponsor post.
Don't
I'm
want to
ready.
be an influencer, but I will take freebies. So.
If they're offered, right?
Yeah, if they're offered, it's fine. Yeah, it's good.
Might as well.
Exactly.
Did you have, we're just going to final couple of questions. Did you have like so during like first few days of like craziness, did you have like any kind of older friends or people from high school start hitting you up like, hey girl, what's up?
Definitely. I think that one actually happened a little bit more when the video first just came out, because like I had posted about it and then like people were like, oh my gosh, it's so cool that you're in this, all this stuff, blah blah. So that one kind of
best friends. Wow.
Right, yeah. Or people who honestly like I was just like acquaintances with or like friends of friends were like, oh my gosh, Nina, this is so cool. Like, and then trying to talk about like school or whatever. But it hasn't happened as much this time. I think this time it's more like people sending me TikToks and being like, have you seen this? And I'm just like, yes.
It's like,
look at my tagged photos on Instagram and you will see all of the nice edits of me that people have made. Like, it's really funny. Those edits are so good. I don't even know. But anyways, so yeah.
I have had some people are so good at this. Like, is there a class I missed? Was there a YouTube video I missed?
For real. Like some of these I'm just like, literally some of them I was like, can you send this to me? This is so good. Like, this like right?
Like, I just want to like have that.
Or a couple, like there was like really small, like maybe just like one or two that people included photos of like my boyfriend and I. And I was like, this is actually so cute. This like little slideshow photos of us. It's like edited. I was like, can you send this to me? Because I actually like this.
You're like a little bit weird that you know all this stuff, but love.
Yeah, right. But thank you anyway.
You're like, but I can't deny it.
You're like messaging the people that have made the Gina edits. You're like, ooh, this, but like, you do my boyfriend.
But like, yeah, my favorite ones that are so funny to me is where they cover his face with her face. Those make me laugh so much. Like, those are just hilarious because they took the time to like find a photo of me with somebody, and then they're like, yes, Gina.
What has he thought about all this? Like, has he found it kind of overwhelming himself? Like, not that like he's completely like involved, but just being associated. Like,
I think a little bit. I think he just thinks it's kind of cool and kind of fun. And he's not a huge social media person either. Both of us are kind of like chill and just watch stuff. But but he kind of was jokingly being like, you need to make more content so I can ride your coattails, you know, like, so I can get some.
What
of
are
this
you
fame
doing,
too.
Nina?
Right? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna make a TikTok.
He's
No,
like,
he's
how am
really
I going to get my
supportive.
free games? It'll make free gamer content if you're not.
Right. Exactly.
He's like, you're looking really nice right now. Maybe I should take a couple photos of you.
Yeah,
right. Post them behind the scenes. Right.
Should we go on live right now?
It's really funny. He doesn't even have like Instagram or anything, but he made like a little account just to like watch when I went live with somebody else, like from the video, just to watch. And then he was like, I'm done. It's just so cute. Yeah. So he's been super supportive of it, but like definitely like he's been really good for me to be like, don't look at any of the mean comments, like just focus on the nice ones. Like you're totally good. So yeah, it's been nice to have that too. Because I definitely am somebody who would get caught up in like the one hate comment over like the 20 like nice ones, you know? Like that's just kind of who I am.
There's like
so
50 like really good, like well thought out nice ones. And you're like, they said they didn't like this about me. Because that's what I would be. I'm like, they said they didn't like when I talked. Oh my God. And then just spiral.
Yeah. It has gotten better though. Like sometimes now they're just funny. Like somebody like commented like, I think like yesterday, they were like, I didn't like you on my photo. And I'm just like, honestly, fair. Like it's just funny.
Me neither.
You have your opinion, right? Like it's just funny.
No.
Is there going to be a follow-up? Like, why are they not organizing a second video with the squad? Why are they not bringing you back together? Why are they not capitalizing off this?
For real. That's actually funny that you mentioned that because we actually talked about that. We have like our group chat going and it was funny because one of them mentioned like, we should talk to the company about having us on for like a reunion, like what are they doing a year later video? And for me, I was a little bit like, man, nobody's gonna be interested in that. But like honestly, maybe people would. I think I think maybe for me personally, I'd be like, oh, that's a little cringy to be like, hey guys, we're viral now. What's going on? Like, we're the cool happening thing. But
it's like where are they now?
2000,
I was in high school, now I'm in
like,
college.
Yeah, high school
do a round two of it.
College students take on $2,000. Who will get it? The situation now.
Honestly, that's funny to think about it. I know that Heather, the girl who won the money, she said now that she wishes that she had just like split it evenly between all of us. So I feel like that would probably, since we're all friends at this point, is probably what would happen.
Did you end up going to the wedding? Sorry.
I did. I did go to the wedding. It was really fun. It was nice.
Did Heather get her car?
Just needed to know the real questions here.
Right.
Did Jordyn go on her personal trip to the Bahamas?
She hasn't gone yet, unfortunately. I know, but Heather got her car. NJ took his tests. EJ's paying for college. He lives in Texas now, actually. So yeah, I know.
Khalid's got his clothing business?
He actually decided not to pursue that, which made me sad. I was like, no, you gotta go for it.
Well, good thing we didn't give him the $1,000.
Didn't invest in that.
Right, that one.
Did EJ's girlfriend get a Gucci belt?
I don't know about that one. You know what's funny to me? I think it's hilarious is that EJ has been like the one person who's been like completely like radio silence about everything. And I'm honestly like, you know what? You go. Yeah. Like ignore it all. Yep.
I loved his jumper. Love to know where he got that.
Oh my gosh. EJ was so cool. EJ is somebody I feel so bad because after the shoot, we actually did like keep up for a little bit, but I'm terrible at replying to text messages. Like I am so bad. And so it's completely and 100% my fault that we are not chatting anymore. But he is such a sweetheart. Like,
hey EJ,
hey, yeah. but no, I know that he's doing good. We actually did talk a little bit recently, and he's doing pretty good. He's such a sweetheart. He is so nice.
He was
like,
so like
such a cool guy,
quiet and like just like I don't know, just like everybody seemed like so nice. Like even Jordyn, she had her quirks and everything, but like she seemed like at the start mostly like very like, and that's just because of editing and everything hopefully but like she seemed very like, you know, everything seemed nice. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, wanting to talk with each other. And yeah, for sure, she's definitely like, I think more energetic and outgoing and stuff, and that kind of
just
translates.
There's people who are like confident and you're kind of like so confident that you're like, wow, that's like just different, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, I think we covered quite a bit of it. I feel like we could go on, but it's just, I find it so fascinating, kind of the in the peak / the moment of virality to really understand, like from your perspective. And I'm so glad we got to chat today. So thank you so much for joining us, Nina.
Thank you guys for having me. This is so fun.
Right. Thank you so much, and like taking your time to talk and like. So thanks so much, Nina, for coming on. We were just wondering, where can people find you if they want to find more of your content? Not that you really want to be an influencer or anything like that, but if they want to keep up to date with your 1 or 2 posts on Instagram you'll want, if they want to see that, where can they go see it?
So on Instagram, I am at Nina Fowler with 2 A's. And then on TikTok, I am at ni.nuh, kind of like Nina, like NE.NUH. So yeah, which I actually had before the video. Nina. And it was funny. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's because she says like Nina. That's why her name is Nina." I was like, "No, I already had it." It's like, "No,
I already had it. It's just a coincidence."
Yeah, right.
No, thank you so much. Here at the Undecided Gen Z, we do ship. We're still rooting for #Gina, but no, we're rooting for you and your boyfriend.
Yeah.
The side of Gina. No. But thank you so much, Nina, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you, guys.
And we are back.
Yes, I loved having her on. I loved how Nina was just so chill and so easy to talk to, and she of course is a normal person, but like, I don't know, like I think if I got viral that fast, I'd be like, yes, look at me. Literally. But she was just so chill and just didn't care, which is such a good, really refreshing take to this whole situation.
No, literally, I love it. And we were just chatting afterwards for quite a while, which is just so nice and easy to talk to. And just the fact, like we mentioned it in there, but the fact that she wasn't like trying to pounce on the fame and like get clout out of this. She was just like, it was a fun little moment. Like, wow. Not many people would like respond like that.
Especially Gen Zers. Definitely not.
So we are going to head into, of course, it wouldn't be a podcast without getting into a few people picks and discussing.
What episode have we skipped in the last year without a people pick? None.
I mean, there's been a couple, but
really,
yeah, there has been a couple, but this is not going to be one of them. So as you know, guys, people picks is your chance to send in topics, current events, anything you want us to discuss, and we get into it. So we've got a few juicy ones today to talk about and get down and dirty with.
No, I'm keen. Of course, we've got to start off a bit political, get our brains, thinking, active. Somebody wrote in Joe Biden. Obviously, he's just become president. The inauguration was today.
Yeah, today.
Yes. So, thoughts?
I'm just so happy. And even like, I just can't imagine how someone living in America, particularly if it's like a minority or someone that's actually felt kind of marginalized under Trump, would be feeling today. Because even I was just like woke up kind of feeling happy about it and like relieved for the people of America, relieved for the world.
I've been so busy. I didn't even realize it was happening today. I'm such a bad American. Like, I didn't realize until like halfway through the day. I was like, "Oop, so we got a new president." But no, like, so relieving, and like just to have that dick out of power, really. Like, ooh,
exactly,
the relief.
And I'm just so excited because like every time we talk about America on this podcast, we're like, America, like going downhill, like they're all dying, they all suck. But it's like I'm glad that we can kind of, I hope we get to change that narrative.
Like, it feels hopeful, and there's like at least like light at the end of the tunnel, And I'm not saying that Joe Biden is perfect, because he's not. He has his issues, and so does Kamala Harris. Like, I'm not a huge fan, to be honest. But they are so much better than Trump. So, like, it's light at the end of the tunnel, really.
Although the fact that in Trump, in his speech, when the last thing he said was like, we'll be back. Or I can't remember the exact quote, but it was like, this won't be the last you'll see of me in some form. No, he said like, we'll be back in some form.
So somebody needs to poison him. Can I say that? Will the like American, what are they called? FBI come after me.
I mean, not anymore.
No.
You could tell you like.
True,
got power.
He's not the president.
I mean, surely there's got to be like a TV show or something coming for Trump. Did you see that? You know how he got kicked off every social media, which is just so funny. Do you see he started an OnlyFans because he wasn't kicked off OnlyFans?
No. Yes. That's got to be a joke.
No, it was verified.
No.
Just as like, I mean, I don't think he's going to be out here posting like booty pics, but as a means of communicating with his fans. Because he's got nothing now. Like, he's permanently banned from all of them.
It's good. He doesn't need anything. Let's ban him from OnlyFans.
Watch him start his own social media platform, and it would just be like a breeding ground of Trumpies.
I wouldn't put it off him, though.
I would not.
Next thing we know, it's like Trump.com, or like, maybe that probably already exists, or like Trumping, like something like that. Like, I don't know, where you can...
Trumpstagram. Our next people pick was discuss the Australia Day date.
Oof. It needs to be changed. Change the day. I don't understand why it's not being changed. I don't understand why people celebrate Australia Day anymore. I actually went 2 years ago. When everybody was celebrating on my Instagram, whoever celebrated it, I unfollowed
cancelled
them.
Oh, wait. Oh, I thought you were going to say 2 years ago you went and celebrated.
No.
Oh, you unfollowed?
I went
Really?
through my Instagram and unfollowed everybody who was celebrating. Yeah, because I just hated it. I was like, why are you that like self-centered that you just like have to party on this day? You could party on every other day. You don't even care about Australia, really. Like in Australia, there's not a lot of people who are like patriotic like America. Like there's some, I'm not gonna lie, but not to the degree. But yeah,
and just for people
like,
that aren't
really
aware, like if you're for our international listeners,
true.
like Australia Day is big controversy because the date, the 26th, is the same day as kind of a big date. I can't remember if it was when the settlement actually happened in Australia or when they like officially confirmed that they were here. But basically like people call it Invasion Day because it's when the settlers invaded and started taking down the Aboriginals.
Genocide. Yeah, mass genocide, and like it's horrific. And like I don't know, there's like for especially young people, there's so many days you could just drink and have fun. Why does it have to be on Australia Day?
Right, change it, literally. But okay,
Legit.
wait till you're gonna die when I play for you what I'm about to play for you. Did you see this video of ScoMo, who is our Prime Minister, talking about this? And he said,
I have not.
He said, this isn't funny, it's awful, but he said,
when those 12 ships turned up in Sydney all those years ago, it wasn't a particularly flash day for the people on those vessels either.
You know, when those 12 ships turned up in Sydney all those years ago, it wasn't a particularly flash day for the people in those vessels either.
Literally burn him on the stake. Burn him. I can't believe our Prime Minister said that. That's actually disgusting.
It's just like one of those things like the N-word. It's like, okay, some people are like, I don't understand it. But it's like, if that many people are telling you that it's offensive, that they're hurt by this, that like they want something, you just respect that. It's like, change the date.
It's like, why do you why do you like care? Mine is just like, why do people care so much? You just like, I think at that point they don't even care about that. They just care about sticking, like going against
and standing up. People just have like this thing where they
annoying.
want to stand up for like against political correctness. It's like with the cheese, you know, the coon cheese, how was it recently changed to cheer cheese? And everyone's like, this is a sign of the world, what we're becoming. It's like, but who cares? Like, it's a name change.
Yeah, and it's also like, why do you care so much about
a little cheese?
Ugh, I hate it.
And our final people pick today comes in, not from anyone because it's anonymous, but they said, people need to stop hating on K-pop and stop judging people's music taste. Now, I wanted to do this one because you briefly mentioned, I think last podcast or a podcast ago, that you're like a K-pop girl now. Is that accurate?
Yes.
What's going on there?
So my housemate showed me, I'm just going to get his name up, showed me this group of like this K-pop and I fell in love. I was like, is this it? Like, is he my new love? Is Tom Holland gone? But like, I don't know, they put it like, it just really like, we watched lots of their videos and I was like, I love K-pop now. Like, obviously I don't really understand what sometimes they're saying and all that type of stuff, but the amount of effort they put in to their routines and just their performance and everything compared to like these famous celebrities like Ed Sheeran who rocks up in sweats, like it's sorry just like roasting Ed Sheeran, but like it's actually like ridiculous. They have to put so much effort in and so much time, and they're so talented and their voice is actually really good. Anyway, I think it's definitely, oh my god, I found him. His name is Kai, but I forgot what his group's called. But the group he's in, they're just like so good at dance but I in the past, like I've judged you for your music taste, but I think that's valid for you because like you and the Chainsmokers.
The Chainsmokers have bangers.
Hate them.
And I hate them. You don't hate them though. You hate them because you're like, I need to like a fancy music. Like the truth is, the Chainsmokers have songs which are just bangers.
There's like 2 good songs and the rest are trash.
Okay, yes, I'm not saying all their songs are amazing, but
like I've started to like be like, it doesn't matter, and like I love music from all different genres, and I have some embarrassing music too. But if it's a bop, it's a bop. Like if it's High School Musical and I'm singing along, it's good, you know.
To be honest, I really like the sound of K-pop, and like I listened to it a while ago, a couple of years ago, and then recently, of course, I listened to Dynamite a bunch. Love Dynamite, and also BTS's Boy with Love feat. Halsey. But I don't know, this probably sounds bad, but I find it, when I can't like understand, I find it hard to enjoy that much because I'm like, I can't sing along.
Yeah, I do.
So
get
I
that.
find it like a bit restrictive in that way.
That's why you've got to learn
Korean.
Korean.
Learn a new language.
Oh, I found out who they were, the band that I love. They're called EXO.
Oh, EXO, yeah.
No, but have you ever judged anybody for their music taste, Theo?
No. I don't come from any position to do so. But I only judge people when they kind of judge other people for their music taste. Or when people that are very pretentious with their music. Or like clearly kind of putting it on. They're like, these are the bands I like. It's like, okay, do you actually like them? Or is it just because, they're kind of the cool, like, alternative bands to like?
Yeah, true though. So, oh my god, I cannot wait to get into some unpopular opinions because, like, of course, Secrets is my favorite thing, but like, we are reacting to these live, so we haven't prefaced any of them.
But do you notice our last episode, we started off with you talking about how hype you were for the secrets, and then at the end we like forgot and we didn't even do the secrets. We're like, let's do an advice quote, let's do a dilemma.
Legit.
But yes, we're going to be reacting.
But no, Secrets is next.
We've got you to submit some unpopular opinions anonymously. But basically inspired from when we had Forgotten Item on, and we're like, okay, like that's
legit though.
Interesting opinion. Like, but it's it's like, okay, controversial, but like it's interesting to have a different view. So we're gonna be reacting to a few of your unpopular opinions. Do you want to like take turns and do like one each?
I'm just gonna scroll and then stop when I want to. Ready? All right. So I just stopped on one, and it goes not really unpopular, but well, that's a really good start. Pads, tampons, and birth control should be free. Also be given to girls who can't afford it at schools.
Oh.
I agree with the pads and tampons. I don't know about birth control. Like, I think that's a personal choice, but I don't think, like, getting a period is a personal choice at all. Whilst, like, having sex and, like, all that type of stuff is a personal choice.
That's true, yeah.
Should it be cheaper? Yes. But, like, no. Definitely pads and tampons should be free because we literally are just born a girl. We don't decide to be a girl.
What do you...
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I've seen this come up a couple of times. People, like, argue back with the idea that, like, well, we don't choose to have to eat. We don't have to choose to have to eat, but we have to pay for food. We have to pay for toilet paper.
But everybody does, though. That's equality, though. Like, if everybody has to pay for food, men and women and others, like, why would... Like, that's equal grounds. But for women, we have the disadvantage of having to pay for pads and tampons.
But couldn't you say that's equal because all women have to pay for them?
No, because then men don't have to pay for them, do they?
Is there anything men have to pay for?
No. Legit. There's nothing men that really have to pay for except for condoms. But then even some, like, most of the time, girls have to buy condoms too, and then that's a choice.
Well, personally, I think everything should be free and we should turn to socialism. Communism.
That would not work.
Why?
Oh my god. Stop. Communism.
We are here for communism on this podcast.
No, we're not. Don't run with that.
We stand Gina and we stand communism.
No. Stop. No, not at all. If that's something I do not stand. Could you imagine not being able to have your own opinions or have your own identity?
But I think you can. I think that's what we sell. I think that's like what capitalist societies sell us. So we don't want communism.
But have you seen how it's worked in other countries?
But have you seen that, or have you just seen what capitalist societies have just chosen to show us from those places?
I've spoken to people in those countries.
Who?
We had international students.
Okay. You win. Anyway. Okay. Next one. Okay. People hate on cosplayers just for doing something they like, and it's very mean.
Mean?
Yeah. I'm like, I already can see it to your mind. You're like, I feel like you're not a cosplayer type of person.
I'm not a cosplayer type of person, but I also think people should do whatever they want, and if they want to do that, that's fine.
Except if they're furries?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. When it comes to, like, taking it further to, like, furries and that type of stuff, that makes me feel uncomfortable. But, like, cosplaying for, like, you know, the cosplay conventions and stuff, like, go for it. Have fun. If you love that, like, watch me dress up as Harry Potter.
Speaking of cosplay, have you seen Trisha Paytas cosplaying as a Domino's worker on TikTok?
Oh my god.
It is so funny. She, like, rocks up at Domino's and does, like, a Domino's day routine. She's like, then I put on my uniform. Because she's, like, bought a uniform online.
Oh,
and she's like,
god.
just going in for my shift. getting my bag. And then
And she actually goes in.
yeah, she like walks into the store, and then she's like, I'm on my lunch break now, and she's eating a Domino's pizza in her car.
I actually can't deal with that. And then she actually does the whole day of work.
No, she doesn't actually work there.
Oh.
But it would just be so
Me,
funny
like,
being
picturing-
her because literally everyone's commenting like, do you actually work there? Are you actually at Domino's? And she's probably just like, these people are so stupid. She can just do whatever. And people are like, are you actually a Domino's worker? What's going on, Trish? You've gone crazy. Like, I just
I
love...
wouldn't actually put it past her to just go in and pretend she's like
No,
working and
literally,
be a
just
worker.
walk behind the counter.
Yeah, and just start like serving people making the pizzas. Like she would.
But yeah, people, although I agree that it's stupid and it's mean, but I don't agree that you can't like make fun of it, not in the way of like being mean, but you know how people would always like kind of imitate cosplayers on TikTok in a very exaggerated, funny way. I think like,
Yeah, I think like being mean is obviously you shouldn't do that, but like it's their hobbies and like what they love, so they're putting the time and energy. And I also think it's a bit it's not odd, but it's a different thing that people do, and like people perceive different things as like weird. And I just think that like if it becomes more normalized, or if it, like in the future, or if like people more accept it and becomes less taboo, then like people stop being mean, hopefully. But who knows?
Yeah, and it's probably because like we're kind of naturally forced into like assimilation. Ooh, is that the word? I don't know, but not forced into like conforming to one another in like most school environments, or like in the media and movies and stuff we see, which I think is getting better. But people are always the same. Like there's always the same tropes and characters. The main character is always the same figure. So we have an idea of what like normal is and why we should be normal. So it's just like when people see someone stepping outside so outside of that, it's like,
it's kind of just like shocking, like, and like, but my thing is like good on them that they keep going, that they've then built this up, because I know they have this big like Comic-Con conventions where everybody dresses up in the city and everything like that. And honestly, like I wish I had the confidence to just do what I love and not care, because I know they probably do care like a bit, like I know I would get so anxious. But
what would you like to do that you love that you feel like you can't because of what people think about you?
Ooh, I'm trying to think. I don't really know if there's anything like that.
Oh, just because you said like you wish you could do what you love and not have anyone care.
Yeah, I know. I think it's just more like in like I get like really weird about like when I'm out with friends in public and they're being like louder or they're being like, and I'm kind of like, guys, like respect. I'm the person who sits and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know them, and I'm the one that's like, oh my God, but they're just having fun and like,
yep.
I don't know, but I get really anxious. So it's just stuff like that I'm like, I worry about other people's perception. So I'm really like good on everybody for doing just whatever the fuck they want and like not caring.
Yeah,
it's just amazing. Well, maybe they do care, but they still do it. You know what I mean? It doesn't hold them back.
For sure.
So this last one, I'm just looking at it now. It's a little random. I don't know if it's unpopular, but I don't put butter underneath my jam on toast.
Oh, I don't know if that's like the norm.
It's
like,
not normal.
I think personally, I'm like, you're just missing out. Like when I started doing that,
like,
it's way nicer.
Yeah,
like I didn't do that for most of my life, but when I discovered it, I was like, okay, that just takes it to a new level. Like it is so tasty.
But also like butter and jam on toast, it hits different.
Exactly.
I didn't have jam or like jam until I went to boarding school when I was 15. And then we had like afternoon, they just had like bread in the like common rooms and like jam and stuff. Oh my God. A little bit of the salty butter with the like, and it's a bit warm because it just came out of toast, and then a bit of the jam. Oh,
it's kind of one of those things that you just like go through a phase of eating, like one of those foods where you just like remember how good it is and then like eat it a bunch and then forget about it for years.
Yeah.
But you're missing out.
So guys, if you want to have an unpopular opinion, a secret, or an anonymous dilemma, send them through. It's in our link tree on our Instagram. Go give us some, you know, tea.
That's
I want
right.
some stuff where like, oh my God, how could anybody think this? Or like, what? Like, I'm
What
ready.
was no butter under the jam not juicy enough for you?
No, like it is juicy. I'm like, why? Bit odd. But I want some people that are like, I hate, I don't know, something. Maybe no hate comments or racist something. But like, that's what I want.
Yes.
But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed Nina. I did.
Me too. Yes, we stand Nina in this place.
Yes, she's so good.
Thank you so much for listening and tuning in, guys. We appreciate it as always. If you do want to leave us a review, head over to Apple Podcasts and click that little 5 stars. You can follow us on Instagram or just stalk us if you don't want to follow at Ali_Malcolm or Theo.McCoy or at the Undecided Gen Z. And also on TikTok. I've been posting a bunch of snippets over there. So definitely check us out.
Some visual things for you to see.
Oh, see us in person. See our faces.
Us record I don't know what I was going to say. See us recording like what we're like then.
We also have a Facebook group which you can join and chat about the episodes, chat about anything you want, meet some new people. So head over to Facebook and join the Undecided Gen Z. But anyway, I think that's it. So thank you guys.
All right.
Have an amazing week.
See you Monday.
Bye.